My name's Graham. I'm Sea Shepherd Australia's remote marine debris campaigner. We're currently at Flinders Beach, so it's just off Mapoon. The main issue we're seeing in the whole of Northern Australia, and especially in the Gulf of Carpentaria where we are, which is a global marine debris hotspot, is just the accumulation of plastic on these beaches. The plastic that we're seeing here currently is all being washed up during the wet season. So with all the rain and as all the winds come back, we've just had a cyclone come through here. It's coming into the Gulf from the Timor and the Arafura Sea, so it's coming across that region. A lot of it's coming off fishing vessels, and then over that period when the wind's pushing it up towards the shores here on the Northern Cape, over time it just washes further and further up on the beach. So a lot of it will come in and out, but all the stuff above the tide line continues to accumulate.
Since I've been here, we've noticed quite an increase, unfortunately, in the debris. It sort of proves it on this beach alone. You know, the first couple of times we cleaned up, did 6.5 Ks, 9.5 tonne. You know, we haven't even done 3 Ks and we've pulled 7.5 tonne off. So definitely an increase, and it's unfortunate due to, you know, the amount of endangered and threatened species that inhabit this area.
It's devastating. Like you come out and you look at it and you clean it and you know, you just go. But to sit now, actually just sit, and you know, you listen to the beach and it's beautiful, you look around, it's beautiful, and then you look up there and it's just like so bad. Like it gets me every time we come out, but it was just different. It was different because there was no other noise except for the waves and that multitude of debris. So yeah, it's hard not to get affected by it. And I think that's the part that I really wish everyone had the opportunity to come out just for a day and do it and see and feel it. And I think it would change a lot of people. Yeah, experiencing it, it's just so different.
It's a huge logistic challenge just to get to the locations and then to start the cleanup each day. From our perspective, you know, our day starts at sunrise, we get everything ready. We then travel to Janie's Creek for 30 minutes in four-wheel drives. We get to Janie's Creek, we meet the barges that have already driven up earlier from Cullen Point, and then we start the journey out to here and start the cleanup on the beach each morning.
This is hard work. You have to pace yourself. You've got the journey of getting here. You're hitting these hot sands in hot temperatures with no shade throughout the day, doing physically demanding work from beginning to end. And by the end of the day, the word cooked comes to mind, because that's how I feel, that I've spent absolutely every bit of energy that I can picking up and clearing rubbish on this beach. But if you don't keep going, you're not going to get there. Every metre of beach you clear is another metre of beach that's free for the wildlife to use. We're only here for a really short period of time, so we've got to smash it out. We've got to do everything that we can.
Well, you're coming out to what should be a pristine environment. I think a lot of Australians think about coming to somewhere like the Gulf of Carpentaria and think the beaches will be pristine, and they're not. They're covered in plastic, and it's the sort of things that you recognise that you use in your own home. Cosmetics and shampoos and detergents, drink bottles. So it's a huge shock about how much plastic's here. It makes me think about the way that I use plastic. It makes me want to go home and talk to my friends about how they're using plastic.
So this beach here, Flinders Beach, is our main turtle nesting beach. So the rangers monitor it for an entire month, once a year. And we have the endangered olive ridley and hawksbill turtle nest here, as well as the threatened species, which is the flatback. So it's important for us to try and keep this beach as clean as possible and make it easy nesting for them. And the impacts is more the microplastics for me. They ingest them, and unfortunately it ends up a one-way street for them, which is death. So.
Every day once we've finished on the beaches, so we head back late afternoon, we take all the rubbish back where it's all weighed. Once we weigh it, we get a 10% sample of that we then take back to the base where we're staying. Then we put that all out on some tarps, so we go through and count it all by hand and divide it all into the categories. By counting and sorting 10% every day, we can see exactly what's coming off the beach. We can keep those data sets, and then we can provide them to all the people that are working in that space. So as Sea Shepherd Australia, we're a direct action or conservation organisation. So our goal is to remove as much plastic as we can, working alongside the rangers to save the marine life and restore country. And because there's not a lot of people collecting that data on this scale, in the Gulf in particular, it creates a really important data set that can then be shared amongst any interested parties, so they can then work on petitioning government to create change.
It's pretty sad, to be honest, like the amount of pollution and everything that does wash up onto our shores. I reckon my elders would be pretty disgusted in the result of from when they were younger to now. Obviously they know what the beach looked like when they were younger, being beautiful, probably spotless, and then now it's just overflown with like rubbish and marine debris. Obviously, yeah, we have currents coming from Indonesia and all that, but can't really blame it on just one place or person. I think everyone has a contribution of putting their hands in on the pollution and everything, Everyone has a bit of a piece in it.
I think if everyone just made one small change in their life, that would be such a big difference, because there's 7 or 8 billion people in the world. So even if everyone makes one small difference, that's still about 8 billion differences. Moving forward, if everyone had a bit of responsibility and a bit of ownership and just tried to make one small difference, because that'll also feed onto the corporations that also produce so much plastic and single-use items. We, as consumers, have a lot of power, so I think it's going to make such a massive impact on how much plastic and single-use items we actually use as a country or as a global population as well.